Hello everyone and welcome to Connor on the Air. My name is Connor and I have came on the air today. Thank you for joining me. I don't think I have anyone watching me live, but maybe I have some people watching in the replay. So first I'm going to get into some stuff today. Obviously we've heard coming up, so the vaccine mandate, somewhat of a vaccine mandate coming into Queensland. I'll let you know my thoughts on that. You let me know your thoughts. Please put them in the chat or email me. yoursay@246news.com.au. Also, firstly, tonight, we've got to talk about these Reclaim the Line protests. Now, we saw those Reclaim the Line protests on the weekend. I'm a bit late to cover this. And I hate saying this, but our media covered it absolutely disgracefully. Now, let's have a look firstly at Channel 7 News. This is Channel 7 here. Thousands turn up for an anti-vax protest across Queensland. Now, they're calling these Reclaim the Line protests anti-vax protests first of all, and then obviously I'm going to take you through this. Have a look at this first part of their news coverage in Brisbane.
Good evening. Thousands of protesters gathered at rallies across the country today fighting against COVID vaccines.
Okay, so there you hear fighting against COVID vaccines. Majority, if not all people there aren't actually anti-vaxxers. I know because I've been to these protests myself to cover them for you guys, and I will do so in the future if you guys can subscribe to this channel and support me in doing so. So I know that, hang on, this is not, that's obviously not correct. Anti-vax protesters fighting against COVID vaccines. That isn't the thing here. They're fighting for the freedom to choose. And if they choose no, they're not being treated like a second-class citizen. Let's listen in to the next part of what she says.
Their frustrations directed mostly at politicians.
Palaszczuk, stand down.
They say they're pro-choice and want equal freedoms.
I respect everybody's beliefs and I will not force things onto people against the will. And I feel that's what's happening to us.
Their beliefs on banners in the sky and plastered over the placards in their hands. But even between them, there were disagreements.
You have failed the people and now children will die.
The group of well over 1,000 marched across the state line and back. There were many different opinions, but one resounding message.
It's your body and make your own choice.
The crowd finished in song.
Still call Australia.
On the Gold Coast, Carly Madsen, 7 News.
Georgie Chumley, hundreds also gathered in King George Square.
Katrina, there were a few hundred people here. They were well behaved and there was just a small police presence, but there were some broad-ranging views. Some people who believe that COVID is a government-created conspiracy, others who are vaccine hesitant, but many who are against the vaccine mandate, including Queensland Health staff who've been stood down.
I've been an RN for almost 20 years. I made a decision when the mandates came out to not take the vaccine.
One of the speakers, a representative of the Professional Nurses Association of Queensland, who is a controversial lobby group. Now, they're against the vaccine mandate. The speaker was encouraging and siding with protesters and the Reclaim the Line movement, which supports controversial COVID 5G conspiracy theories.
Which supports 5G COVID conspiracy theories. That is not what the Reclaim the Line movement supports at all. Now, anti-vax, if they put that in the title of their YouTube video, like as you can see that they have done here, they obviously, that's, I guess, fair enough because, you know, it's just clickbait. It just gets more people to click on the video. But when you start saying they're fighting against vaccines, and then you continue on to say this group is supporting a group that believe in 5G conspiracy theories. It's just not true. Anyway, moving on now to the Queensland vaccination mandate. So recently, as you know, there's been ideas that the Premier wants to reopen the state borders by December the 17th, but like to fully vaccinated people who've tested negative and isolated for a day or whatever the requirements are. I'm not exactly sure. But I do know that we're going to be removing the mask mandate from what seems like tomorrow or today even, because we've hit 80% first dose. We're removing a mask mandate when we haven't even opened up our borders yet. We're still an isolated state. We're not planning on opening up our international borders until at least 90% vaccinated, maybe even 95%. So the reason I don't understand this Premier, I'm not sure I can say that there's going to be no more lockdowns after this, because you know how it happens. Some kid falls off their bike, it's overwhelming the hospital system, lockdown. That's how it goes here in Queensland and also in WA. So they're removing the mask mandate, but we're still locked out. We're going back to December last year when Queensland were our own state, but removing restrictions with now a vaccination mandate about to come into play. Now, from the December 17th, apparently the borders may kind of open, but not really to international, not at all internationally, actually. Maybe a removed cap. I don't even think they'll remove the cap from hotel quarantine. And they're suggesting that they might be able to remove hotel quarantine eventually, and they're trying to bring in this home quarantine system. But the home quarantine system was talked about today. But they're still building those quarantine facilities. They're still using our money to build these massive regional quarantine facilities, long way from the airport, a little too far from a big hospital. They're just building these quarantine facilities. And not yet have I heard anything about them trying to stock up on ventilators and get more hospital beds like New South Wales were doing. No, instead we're stockpiling on rooms for regional quarantine. Now, if we're going to remove quarantine, hopefully eventually, then why do we need the quarantine facilities? Of course, she said on an interview, the Premier said it was for unvaccinated people. Now, I don't think that all unvaccinated people are going to be loaded into these facilities in concentration camps, which some suggest might be happening. But I do think that maybe people this border restrictions, there's going to be border restrictions for unvaccinated people for quite a long time. That's what I believe might be happening here. And of course, the Premier, she put out this statement yesterday. I believe it was yesterday. She put out a media statement. Now, as you've seen all over the country, they do these rewards thing. Some people think they're great. Some people think they're not. I honestly don't have an opinion on it. I mean, if you want to encourage people to get vaccinated, I have no problem. I have a problem forcing people to take the vaccine. So, yeah. But, people have been, obviously, you get vaccinated, you get a free beer, you get a free Bunnings snag if you get vaccinated. It's not the same if they're taking your freedoms away, of course. Now, if you get vaccinated in someone got vaccinated and they won $1 million from a lotto ticket, and I don't know if that should be how that happened, but anyway, there you have it. That's where our taxpayer money must be going. And I'm sorry, I'm just going to show what the media statement the Premier put out. She's offering a reward to the vaccinated people. If you get the vaccine, you get a special reward. Good boy, good girl. Have a look at what the Premier's doing. And there we have it. Vaccinated Queenslanders are rewarded with, drumroll please, life as normal. Life as normal. They get their freedoms back. They get to leave their home once in a while. They might be able to go into a pub or go into a restaurant or something like that. Maybe get a haircut. That's what they're going to be rewarded with. But that does not seem the same. That is not getting a lotto ticket or getting a free beer. This is not even footy tickets. This is giving your freedoms that should not be given to you by the government in a free democratic country. That's what we're being rewarded with in Queensland. The unvaccinated are being deprived of our freedoms, and the fully vaccinated are rewarded with their freedoms. That's your reward. You're allowed to go outside. No curfew, no nothing. You're allowed to be free. Now, of course, a lot of people will be unhappy with this. I am willing to see how this actually works out. And as an unvaccinated person myself, I hope this isn't here to stay. Well, not for very long anyway. I mean, it's only about to start. We're just getting started on this. Dan Andrews says his vaccination mandate is here to stay. In New South Wales, however, they're trying to scrap it by December, fully opening up. Well, there you have it. There's my thoughts. You can see the media statement for yourself. That is what the Premier is happy to put out. Not Queenslanders get freedoms or the vaccinated Queenslanders are allowed get no social distancing in pubs and clubs. No, they titled it Life as Normal. That there was one of her team of 30 there. She has 30 staff doing all that, and one of those 30 still hasn't got. They've gotten back to me. Her email team's very good, but her media department still hasn't got around. One of her team of 30 still hasn't got around to approving me to get the alerts for press conferences yet. Palaszczuk government, if you're watching this, please just check your request inbox thing. Anyway, I don't have anything against this. As a journalist trying to be, scaled up, having an equal balance, I guess. I mean, this is an opinion show, but I wouldn't have anything against any of these guys personally. I mean, the Premier has a great team. The Premier, I believe, is a good person, but our views definitely don't align. Thank you everyone for watching. Also, can I say, Yvette D'Arth, the Health Minister of Queensland, also asked Twitter to remove Jared Blay from the platform for apparently promoting vaccine hesitancy. Let me know your thoughts on that, please. Let me know in the live chat, the comments down below, or email me, yoursay@246news.com.au. Now, if you guys want to help out and you think you have the skills and what it takes to contribute to 246 News, please go to 246news.com.au/contribute and you can be appearing up here. Thank you everyone for watching. My name is Connor. You are watching Connor on the Air. Thank you.